Hey guys, today we're gonna complete the four of a kind annual events, I would say. Year one, kind of that event going on in the four Batman books. We had Batman, we had Detective Comics, we have Shadow of the Bat, and this is Legends of the Dark Knight. So, I think this is the first annual they have. Oh no, it's the fifth annual, sorry. Over here, like big letters. Um, so this one deals with Manbat. I'm not really a fan of when the title character gets like his opposite villain, especially if it's like an animal themed hero, and then he gets like his opposite. Like here we have Batman and Manbat. But what I do like is how Kirk Langstrom is portrayed and his transformation to the Man-Bat is portrayed. I think that's really the highlight of this comic and where its strength as an issue comes from. So while I was reading this, towards the middle of it, when it gets like the juicy um, psychological stuff, I wonder who wrote this. And guess what, guys? It's none other than the man who wrote the other good story. It's Chuck Dixon, yeah. So let's just go into it. Um, we start at this lab where they're discussing this Batman character that's been popping up in Gotham, and he's depicted as like a monstrosity. And we here meet Kirk Langstrom, who is a deaf scientist who's going to wed this woman here called Francine, uh, and this guy, he's just like a bully kind of a guy. He's trying to swoop Francine away from Kirk. Kirk is very into his work. One of the old scientists even points it out to him: "You're losing her, Kirk. You're as blind to that as you are deaf." So Kirk has this impairment, and he's really into bats. He's also trying to um, use the genomes and the DNA from other creatures to solve a host of human conditions and illnesses. And this is where he gets his rejection from the university. And basically, the guy in charge of this calls him an idiot. He just says it. You mean to take the talent of one creature and transfer it to another, to isolate the factor from one species and transfer it to a second? To what possible benefit? A flying pig, a cat that glows in the dark. So he's kind of skeptical to this freak show oddity, as he calls the possible ramifications to this. Um, but for him personally, he's trying to just cure his deafness. So we kind of go to Batman in between, like some of this Kirk Landstrom stories and what's happening with Batman. Well, he's chasing this group of robbers, and so far they've escaped him. And he's adding some wings to the bat suit. And uh, Alfred is like a really funny character in this one. So Bruce Wayne says, "With this development, my transformation is complete." And Alfred just quips, "A complete transformation or mental collapse, whichever arrives first, sir." So that's pretty funny, and he goes against these guys, but they pierce his wings, and Batman like collapses. And then we move again to Kirk Landstrom, who's injecting himself with the serum he's created by this point. So he kind of begins to hear without the hearing aid, but it just gets to like an alarming level. Like, look at the sounds. The city comes alive in my ears. A car horn, a barking dog, a couple arguing in Spanish, the creak of a floorboard 2 stories up, a man whistling over on Vanguard. What have I gotten? What have I done myself? And then he kind of just hides himself in his room. Francine comes, and then we get this amazing art right here. So Francine comes trying to get him out. He's kind of like in his dark room. Francine doesn't really see him, and he kind of realizes the only place where he can get like a cure from is the university. But like he looks like a monster, so that's gonna be pretty hard. So he kind of realized that. The transformation proceeds every day. When it will end, I can only wonder. And what will be left of Kirk Langstrom when the process is over? Already my personality surrenders to another. No, not a personality, an instinct. Wild and uncontrolled, with hungers and desires that are alien to me. And the blackouts come with greater frequency. So he kind of blacks out, and kind of the bat of him takes over. And here, Batman and Alfred have this kind of discussion. Um, and he's unhappy with Bruce Wayne's insistence that he's gonna continue, but even against his concussion, which he suffered in the panel earlier when his bat wings get pierced. Another blackout, strange sounds, I've left the apartment. Dear God, is this what I've become? More animal than man. And what happens here, he's kind of like between buildings, just sleeping like a bat. And this is like the real good part. When will I be more feral than human? And will I remember that I was ever Kirk Langstrom? So this is like the meat of this story. So it's kind of like he's realizing his conscience is slipping away from him, his rationality is slipping just away from him, and he's afraid of losing his humanity and his memory of being a human. And we kind of see some of his physical transformation in here, and I love this gothic kind of urban art. I think there was a panel a bit behind where he looks in the mirror, but this one again captures it perfectly. Um, just look at this. It's amazing art. Pain in my joints as they lengthen. Sounds are starting to turn into echo patterns. Can see the room when I close my eyes. Skin toughening, spine arching. So far away, so far. I just love this art. Like I think this is amazing. So I can't go back. I live in fear of what lays ahead. Can't be Kirk Langstrom. I can't even be a man. And Francine is kind of worried about Kirk, so she's trying to make a cure for him. She kind of like figures out somewhat what's happened to him, that he injected himself with that concoction. And now we kind of see the monologue of Bruce Wayne, and he synchronizes with the Man-Bat's actions. And that's very interesting because what this juxtaposition made me think is that at this point the Man-Bat lost like Kirk Langstrom from its conscience. Um, so Bruce Wayne kind of does the um, narration over here, and it like he basically doesn't know what he's talking about, because he wishes to feel my wings filled with cold air, to feel my body lifted in the sky by the power of my own wings, to feel the dizzying freedom of flight. And we have this creature at this point, and who doesn't want to be what he is. And basically Batman doesn't really know what he's wishing for. I mean, the whole thing is how Batman is a symbol, and pretty much a Man-Bat is the extreme of that symbol, I guess. So Batman goes against these robbers again, but the Man-Bat shows up as well, and that's what kind of defeats them. And he retreats at Wayne Manor, and with like a lot of the bats that also stay there. We saw in year one he kind of uses them to escape. He also does that in the Batman Begins movie. So he gets the cave. He's not really understanding it. So he scares Alfred into fainting. Then Bruce Wayne kind of has a fight with it, and he's kind of losing, but he then tranquilizes him, which is enough to like take him down for a while. And he finds out because he had in his pocket a wedding invitation. So Batman kind of figures out who's Kirk Langstrom, and he delivers the Man-Bat to Francine. And I really like this image too. It's kind of like from a old vampire movie. This is kind of how the vampire comes in, and I don't know what to make of it more. That it's just reminiscent of that, and it looks very cool. So the Man-Bat escapes, and Francine kind of like pleads to what may remain of Kirk Langstrom's conscience inside, and apparently there's still some there, and she just shoots him with the antidote. And now at the end, we see them getting back together, having a few jokes, like relating to hair, because now Kirk's shaving and he doesn't really like to go unshaven, which is like, he was very hairy when he was the Manbat. That's all I'm gonna say. And it kind of ties up the remaining loose end, which is he remembering the Batcave, Bruce Wayne, Batman, all of that, and of course he doesn't. So we get like a happy ending to this story, and that's it. I really liked how it was very introspective of the transformation from man to Man-Bat. Um, it's not really immediate, and we kind of see the turmoil of the character going through that transformation and losing his humanity in the process. It's, if you want to imagine it like with another example, is instead of Bruce Banner transforming into the Hulk in a few seconds or a minute, imagine him having that process go to about 2 or 3 days. He's losing his intelligence as the time passes. His body's deforming. He's getting greener, and just imagine what a person would go through. And imagine if it's only the first time. Like at some point, like probably you get used to it. It's not gonna be so scary anymore. But the first time, you'd get really scared about what's happening. So that's, guys, the story of how Batman met Man-Bat. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned something from it, or just like the story, the art maybe. So if you did like any of that, please like this video as well. If you have any feedback or criticism about this video, this comic, my style of presenting these kind of stories, or anything else, just leave a comment, please. And I hope you guys subscribe. So thanks. Next video, I think I'm gonna go with another character, something a bit more fun, just get away from the Batman for a while. And I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do, but I'll have the video up tomorrow. I might have do a couple of them instead of just one. We'll see. But until then, I wish you guys have a great day. Bye.